What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about BNX at the request of Uncle something. I forgot to write your name down, but it's like Uncle Liz, I think. Is that right, Uncle Liz? Anyways, hit the like button, you guys. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it. Yes, BNX is doing well compared to the average coin. In fact, I think if we were to compare this to the others chart, others dash BNX USD here, we go on. Let's use Binance. Sure. We do others right here, like that. Press enter. Yeah, you are outperforming the average coin in the markets by far, right? For those of you who might not understand this chart, whenever you move up, whenever this chart moves up, that means the average altcoin is outperforming BNX. Whenever it moves down, BNX is outperforming the average coin in the market, right? That's essentially what this chart is telling us. If we look at BNX here, BNX USDT, or USD, whatever, on Binance, yeah. You are up 45% this week. I think the average coin right now, let's see, is down this week, aren't they? Or maybe they're up a little bit. Okay, up a little bit, 2%, but still dramatically higher. So good job. Good job, BNX people. Good job. You are looking like you're breaking out, but you should wait. You should wait for confirmation. We need the day to close. You have about 8 hours left in the day. You could do a lot of selling in that time. You don't have a lot of volume here, and on the USDT pair on Binance, this could set you up for failure, right? This really could. I'm not saying that you have to drop here, but generally speaking, whenever you break out, right, like you broke out here, you get a lot of volume. This, you don't have a whole lot of volume. I'm not saying that means you have to go lower, but let's wait for confirmation. You want today what you want. It doesn't even have to close here. It could come down a little bit, but what you want, or it could go higher. That's phenomenal if it does. What you want is today to close above $1.27, right? I'm actually curious. What's BNX? What are we seeing on a daily time frame here? Will be rebranded to Form on the 21st of this month. Oh, that's cool. Yeah. Okay, volume. The volume's decent. I got to admit, it's not as intense as it was back here, but 35% volume on a 24-hour basis is fine to me. I don't have a problem with that at all, actually. So yeah, I mean, this really could be the real deal. I know that the chart might be misleading because it's dramatically less volume on a daily standard than what you had back here. But I do think that, I mean, this is fine. You don't need, like, you could continue to grow from here. But I stand by it. Close above 1.2737 cents or $1.27. If you can do that, that'll help validate this as a low. Your daily RSI is looking pretty damn good. Bouncing off the 40, coming up here, bouncing off the 60, and then bouncing back off of this area, coming to higher areas, higher highs, bouncing off of this, getting overbought, not getting oversold. That's nice. You're in a very good posturing here. And ultimately, I think what you had here was some kind of broadening top, right? Or a broadening wedge. Maybe it's just a flag. It's a really ugly flag. Let's look, actually. Hold on. I'm kind of curious if this is a flag. That would give us a heading. I don't know if it is a flag. Maybe it is, maybe it's not. Just some kind of bullish consolidation phase, I suppose. But whatever it is, maybe it's a diamond top. Diamonds, it actually, maybe it is a diamond top. Maybe that's exactly what it is. It's so ugly, though. And diamonds are ugly. They are very ugly. I don't know what to think of this, but whatever. Who cares? I'm not going to spend too much time on that. Let's go from this. Actually, I'll go on a weekly basis here. From this week's high, the prior high here, to this all-time low here. Wow, that's crazy. A lot of volatility. Back up to the 886. That's crazy, bro. That's real crazy. It looks good. It actually looks really good. I'm not going to lie. You actually look like you're at $1.50 now. You look like you want to run up to about 350, maybe even higher. What's this thing's market cap at? 562 million. Yeah, I mean, what you'll do is you'll probably double from here, stop at about $1 billion. Doubling from here would take you to about the 1272. So I wouldn't be surprised at all if over the next week, by the end of this month even, you move up, maybe something up there. And you don't have to. You could, and a lot of people who use fibs, myself included, you might just blindly look at the 1272 and assume that you go there. But again, if you were to double in market cap from here, you'd be over $1 billion in market cap. So even just under a 100% growth, you'd be at $1 billion. That's nice psychological resistance, right? So something, and then right there too, you're basically at $3. So you might stop. I would say normally I would consider the 1272 as your minimum target and higher. And I think you do. And I think you do in time. You do go higher. But perhaps right now you stop around $3. You're at $1.50. Perhaps all you do is about double. You go to $3. Find some turbulence. You'd probably pull back down to areas that you're at now, okay? Not financial advice, not a financial advisor, but that's what I would see happening. And it's very bullish, by the way. That's fine. That's totally fine for you to break out of your highs, pull back test that area for support, and then continue to run. Okay, it's not a bad thing. You want to see that, because if you just grow all the way up here, you run the risk of pulling back all the way down here. Why do that? Just get it out of the way and continue on your merry way up. You know what I mean? But yes, in time, I think this thing will be worth more than that. I don't know what this thing's potential is. I don't know anything about it as far as fundamentals go. Looks like the fully diluted valuation is a little bit more than what we've got now. Not a little bit more, a significant amount more. More than 50%, right, of what we're at now. Wouldn't that be right? Yeah, I think so. So there's a potential for this thing to inflate and devalue itself, or something like that. Inflate and devalue itself. I don't know what the release schedule is. Why won't it let me scroll? There we go. I don't see anything about the tokenomics. Top 10 holders, 98% are the top 10 holders. Wait, top 10 hold 98% of it. I don't know about that, man. And that could be why it's moving up. I want to talk about something real quick. Something that I've noticed, and I'm not the only one that's noticed this, but there are manipulated efforts in a way that I haven't seen before this cycle, right? Oftentimes, whenever you get, and make no mistake, guys, if we're seeing 30% of volume right now on a daily basis, 35%, make no mistake, back here, you saw volume that was crazy higher than right. That was $1.46 billion back at these levels, probably like half your price now. So at a $250 million market cap, you were seeing $1.46 billion just on BinaryX. You probably had a multi-billion-dollar day in volume there. That's crazy. Normally, when you see that kind of stuff, that means you're about to sell and go down. But I'm assuming that there are people who are in charge of this coin. Maybe even people like Onyx Coin, same kind of thing, and Auction, right? Whenever you see more volume, that could be manipulation. They're artificially pumping the price using leverage, and because they control it, they can basically save themselves more or less. It's not something that I'm necessarily saying is a bad thing. Hey man, if it gets you popular, if it gets attention, gets people to buy into it, I mean that can hold the price up in itself. But these artificial pumps, they might not be the best things to go for, right? They might not be the best things to go for. And I'm not saying that this thing is going to crash or anything like that, but just, the volume now I think is fine, but just be aware, this thing definitely had something go on that, and I've noticed this with a few cryptos, right? Even cryptos that I hold, even cryptos that I like, so it doesn't mean that they're going to zero. But it's something to be aware of, I guess. It's something to be aware of. If the foundation or the team is caught artificially pumping the price, that if that news were to come out, that could promote a sell the news event, and that wouldn't really be good at all. But I do think you go higher for all that it's worth. I think that you do go to about $3 here on a weekly basis. You are getting overbought on the RSI. You look really damn good, man. On a daily basis, I don't care who's manipulating the thing. At the end of the day, there's manipulation everywhere, right? Even if you can't track it with the volume, there's manipulation everywhere in this game. So, and there's plenty of coins. Bitcoin's price is manipulated, right? It's the top dog. I'm not saying this thing has to go to zero. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, sometimes in these environments, don't be shocked if you get some crazy volatility, right? You can get some crazy, and it's meant to be volatile, because the more manipulation they do, the more that they shake people out, the more they're getting people to buy at high prices and sell at low prices, the more money they're making at the end of the day, right? It doesn't matter what the price is for them. It just matters how much money they're making. And anyways, the daily RSI looks really good. The weekly RSI looks really good. The 4-hour RSI is immaculate, bro. But you are about at the 90s here, so you probably do pull back a little bit. Let's just see. Hold on now. Let's see. Let's zoom this out a little bit. We'll put this right here at this current area. Yeah, maybe. I mean, maybe you find resistance a little bit higher, but you seem oftentimes to stop at this line or just below it, if not just above it. So while you do, I believe, work your way up to $3, you might find some resistance here. Don't be surprised at all if you do, okay? If we're looking at this from a high to a low here, you got your 1272 to 1414 area. Maybe you go all the way up to your 1618 first. You're at $1.52, so maybe you go to $1.70, $1.72, somewhere in there. Maybe you stop right here. I would expect that when you stop, you probably see... You're going to see one of two things. Normally, I would expect that you consolidate back, but if there is enough buy pressure here, there's enough interest to see this thing go up to the upside, you might just move sideways and consolidate. Once you move sideways, you let this RSI cool off. I would say that by the time that you come out of the overbought zone, that's whenever it's time to start thinking about recovering and going up to that $3 area, right? I don't think that you're going to do it now. I could be wrong, but I don't think that you're just going to push higher to $3 right now. But over the coming days, over the coming weeks, yes. Over the coming... And I shouldn't even say coming days. Probably over the coming weeks. Maybe not even weeks, man. hard to say. I think over the next day to 3, you might consolidate a little bit. You might move sideways and let this thing cool off. You could move down like you did here. In fact, let's just see what that was from a high to a low. That was a 37% drop. If you were to drop 37% from here, what would that do? That would take you all the way back. That would take you below your golden ratio. So I don't think that you see some kind of drop like that. But you could see some heavy volatility from these prices. You could drop like 20% to 30% maybe. If not, you might just move sideways up in this area. However it happens, I would expect that this growth is not long-lived from here, and then after you consolidate for about a day or 2, then over the coming days after that, over the coming weeks, even you'll be working your way up to $3, and maybe even above there. Maybe you go to 310, maybe you go to 345. You know, there are targets up there, that reasons to believe that you go up there, but $1 billion is a nice psychological level of resistance, and then pair that with $3. That's an even number, maybe some psychological resistance there as well. But I do think that's your ultimate stop. So would I say buy here? No. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor. Do whatever you want. But I think this is probably a really good opportunity to sell and maybe just wait like a day and see what the price does. And this is what I would do. I don't have any BNX. So I'm just speaking out loud here, but if I were to sell here, and I would definitely sell right here if I was still holding it, right? Who knows? Maybe I would have sold it at an earlier price. It's so easy to say that I could sell here because it's at the top now, but if I did have some and I sold right here, which is what I'd be very inclined to do, I would put buy orders in right here at about $1.22 to $1.16. That's where my buy orders would be. Okay, maybe even layer it in at like $1.30 and below, but somewhere in this box here, right? And I would have multiple buy orders layered out. When I say multiple, I mean like 10, 20, right? Like I would spend time getting them set up, layered out throughout all this, because you don't want to put a big amount in at a price you won't get filled. You likely won't get filled, right? You want to do small amounts in increments and spread it out, layer it through. And then I would also monitor the price. I would just go to bed. I'd wake up tomorrow and see what the price does. If the price is doing something like this, instead, I might move my buy orders up. I might look to buy at whatever price here and just wait for the next pump and then accept the reality that it could drop lower. It's possible, but inevitably we will get the pump, right? It always sucks when you have buy orders here. The price gives you the inclination that it is just going to continue to rip and then finally it drops down. That always sucks, but you just got to eat that sometimes. Again, if you buy here, you have to tell yourself you're okay with a 20 to 30% drop because I think that's what's going to come. But I would look to buy there and then probably go up above $3 here, maybe even just right to $3, something like that. But you're at $1.51 now. We'll see how it goes. Hit the like button, you guys. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this. Thank you all for being here. BNX, man, being pretty damn impressive. I gotta say, it's not bad. Probably goes higher. And by the way, I don't think that it stops at $1 billion. That's not going to be its cycle high. If this thing goes the way that it could go, and I don't know anything about it, so it's not really fair of me to say, but you can see market caps that are in tens of billions of dollars. Probably not hundreds of billions of dollars, but yeah, I mean, it's common enough for cryptos in their first cycle to top off, anywhere from like $10 billion to $80 billion, even in their first cycle. You know what I mean? 80 billion is at the high end. 10 billion is kind of at the low end. Nothing's promised. Nothing's guaranteed. You could stop right at 1 billion and that's your cycle high forever. But if you were to do like a $57 billion market cap, which is completely possible, this thing is definitely 100xable. That doesn't mean that it will 100x, but it could. And not only that, it could do more than 100x even. I don't know about a 200x. I don't see you getting above an $80 billion market cap on your first cycle, but anything can happen. All right, take it easy, guys. Bye-bye.